Hello guys, hope you all doing fine. Welcome to our first video of intermediate level grammar section. Today we're going to have our first lesson. So if you're ready, so let's go. Today we are going to talk about prepositions and how to use prepositions for time and place. So it is more challenging for most of the students using prepositions to mention about the time and place. So today in this lesson, so we are going to cover these parts. The first one, prepositions of time. At, in, on. So when we use them for the time, so they have their specific usage. So we use at for a precise time. Precise, it means specific. So we can use at for times that are specific and clear. So for unclear times, we cannot use at. The next preposition is in. It is used for months, years, centuries, and long periods. And the last one is on. On is used for days and dates. So remember that these three have their special usage. So once again, at is used for a precise time. Precise, it means clear. In is used for months, years, centuries, and long periods. And on is used for days and dates. So look at this chart. So it gives you a very clear view of using at, in, on. So look at the first column. At is used for precise time. For example, we have at 3 o'clock, at 10:30 a.m., at noon, at bedtime, at dinner time, at sunrise, at sunset, and at the moment. The next one, in. So we say that it is used for months, years, centuries, and long periods. For example, months in May, in summer, in the summer, in 1990s, in the next century, in the Ice Age, in the past or in the future, in the 1990s. So on the other one, we have on. On is used for days and dates. For example, on Sunday, on Tuesdays, on 6th of March, on 25th December 2010. So there are dates. Next, on Christmas days. So there are special dates that we can use also for them. And for the next one, on Independence Day, on my birthday, on New Year's Eve. So this chart summarizes how we can use these three prepositions for showing the time. So let's look at some examples how we use these three prepositions. So the first example, I have a meeting at 9 a.m. At 9 a.m. 9 is a clear time, specific or precise time, so we use at. The next example, the shop closes at midnight. At midnight. The next example, Jane went home at lunchtime. So at midnight or at midday or at lunchtime, so they have the same usage, so we can use at. The next one, in England it often snows in December. So December is one of the months of the year, so we can use what? In. The next example, do you think we will go to Jupiter in the future? In the future. So we say that we can use in the future, or in the past we can use preposition in. The next one is, there should be a lot of progress in the next century. In the next century, so we can use in. The next example, do you work on Mondays? So Monday, it is day of the week, so we can use what? On Mondays. The next example, her birthday is on 20th of November or 20 November. So here we are mentioning a date, so we can use what? On. The next example, where will you be on New Year's Day? New Year's Day, special day, so we can use what? on. So here are some examples of how we can use at, in, on. The first three examples shows that we can use at, the next three examples shows that we can use in, and the last three examples shows that how we can use on. Good. So there are some more or standard expressions that we can use just at for them. So look at these expressions. We have, for example, at night. At night. Look at this example. The stars shine at night. The next, at the weekend. At the weekend. And sometimes, so others will say on the weekend. So both are right or true. For example, I don't usually work at the weekends. So at Christmas, and sometimes we say on Christmas or Easter, so they are the same. I stay with my family at Christmas. At the same time, at the same time. For example, we finish the test at the same time. And the last one, at present. He is not home at present. Try later. So here said, note that in some varieties of English people say on the weekend. So I mentioned for you, and on Christmas, at Christmas, on Christmas, at the weekend, or on the weekend. So there is no difference. The next one, in and on have also their special uses in some common expressions. So look at this first column, in. For example, in the morning, in the morning, in the mornings. So you know better that for simple present tense, when we are showing some actions that they are, what you can say, repeated actions, they're done every morning, so we can use in the mornings, in the afternoon or in the afternoons, in the evening or in the evenings. It means every evenings. Next, on Tuesday morning, on Saturday mornings, on Sunday afternoons, and on Monday evenings. There are some special expressions that we can just only use in and on. Good. Let's take to the next presentation. So here, so look, it is very important that we have these four words that they are so important. We have last, next, every, this. Whenever these four words come in the sentence, so we do not use at, in, on. So look, for example, I went to London last June. Last. So we never say, not to say like this, I went to London in the last or in last June. So last June. The next example, he is coming back next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, not on next Tuesday. The next example, I go home every Christmas. Every, not at every Christmas. So, and the next one, we will call you this evening, not in this evening. So because here we have what? This. So when we have these four words, last, next, every, and this, so we don't use preposition of time, at, in, on in the sentences. Good. The next, so it was all about the prepositions of time. And the next we are going to study about prepositions of place, at, in, on, how to use them to show place. So in general, we use at for a point. Point, it means a specific place, a clear place. We use at. The next, in is used for an enclosed space. It means something that is like indoor, closed space. So we can use in. And on is used for a surface on the top of something. So we can use on. So at is used for a point, in is used for an enclosed space, and on is used for a surface. Good. Look at this chart. The first column, at. For example, we can say at the corner, at the bus stop, at the door, at the top of the page, at the end of the road, at the entrance, at the crossroad, and at the front desk. So they're a point. We can use what? At. The next, in. For example, in the garden, in the garden, in London. So for countries we can use also what? In France, in a box, in my pocket, in my wallet, in a building, in a car. And On is used for surfaces. For example, on the wall, on the ceiling, on the door, on the cover, maybe a cover of a book or a magazine, so we can use on the cover, on the floor, on the carpet, on the menu, and on a page. Good. Let's take a look to some examples how we can use at, in, on to show places. For example, the first one, Dane is waiting for you at the bus stop. Bus stop, it is a point that we used what? At. The next one, the shop is at the end of the street. At the end of the street, so we used at. The next example, my plane stopped at Dubai and Hanoi and arrived in Bangkok 2 hours late. In. So for countries, I told you we say what? In. The next, when will you arrive at the office? At the office. So it is also a point. At the office, we used at. The next, do you work in an office? Do you work in an office? So in is used, I told you, for, so here we mentioned the inside of something, so in an office. Okay. The next, I have a meeting in New York. In New York City, so we can use in. The next, do you live in Japan? We used what? In here. The next, Jupiter is in the solar system. In the solar system. And the author's name is on the cover of the book. On the cover of the book. So for surfaces we use on. The next example, there are no prices on this menu. No prices on this menu. And the last example, you are standing on my foot. On my foot. Good. So we have one more example. There was a no smoking sign on the wall. So again, surface, we used on. And next example, I live on the 7th floor at 21st Oxford Street in London. So we used on the 7th floor at 21st Oxford Street in London. So here we used 3 of these prepositions: on, at, in. The first one for what I can say floors or surfaces. The next one point, and the last one is for countries or enclosed areas. So countries we can use in. Good. And notice that at, in, and on used in some standard expressions, the same like as we said that about the time, they have some standard expressions. Look at. For example, we say at home, at work, at school, at university, at college, at the top, at the bottom, at the side, and at reception. So there are some special expressions that we can use at. The next, in. In is used mostly for small vehicles. For example, a car. In a car. I'm in a car. Yeah. In a taxi. So the car and taxi both are small vehicles. Next, in a helicopter, in a boat, in a lift or elevator, in the newspaper, in the sky, in a row, in Oxford Street. On is used for mostly for large vehicles. For example, on a bus, on a train, on a plane, on a ship, on horse or on an elephant, on a bicycle, on a motorbike, on the radio. So for radio also we can use what? On, not in the radio. On the radio, on television, on the left, on the right. So they are used mostly when you give direction for some others. So you can use on the left, on the right, and on the way. So there are some standard expressions that we can use at and on for each one. So they have their special standard expressions. So okay, guys, let's take a mini quiz so that to find out how much you know about the prepositions. So the first mini quiz is about preposition of time, at, and on. So let's use it. The first question, choose the correct prepositions. Let's meet, midday, Saturday. So what do you guess? A, at, B, in, on, C, at, on. So what do you think? Which one is correct? Okay, C, yeah, exactly. So when we can say, let's meet at midday on Saturday. Okay, the next question. Choose the correct prepositions. The manager isn't here, present, but she will be back half an hour. So A, at, in, B, at, C, in. Okay, yeah, A is correct. At, in. The manager isn't here at present, but she will be back in half an hour. So we studied for present we can use at. And the next question, which are correct? You won't be working Saturday nights. The future, will you? Which one? A, at, in. B, on, in. C, on, at. Okay, nice. B. So we can say like this: you won't be working on Saturday nights in the future, will you? Okay. And the last question, which are correct? I'm busy moment, but I will be free evening. Okay, think. Yeah, exactly. C. I'm busy at the moment, but I will be free this evening. Very nice. Let's take another quiz about prepositions of place, at, in, on, so where we can use them. Okay, the first one. The water is the bottle, at, in, on. Which one? Exactly. Which one is correct? In the bottle. Yeah. The next. 2. Pass me the dictionary. It's the bookshelf, at, in, on. So which one is correct? It's exactly on the bookshelf because there is a surface. Yeah. Number 3. Jennifer is work. Which one? At, in, on. Okay. Yeah, exactly. At work. Jennifer is at work. Number 4. Berlin is Germany. At, in, on. Which one? Yeah, in. Berlin is in Germany. Number 5. You have something your face. At, in, on. Yeah, face. Your face. That is a surface. So we can use what? On. You have something on your face. Very nice. Great. So it is a summary of our today's lesson about using at and on. The first one shows how we can use them to show the time, and the second picture it shows that how we can use them to show the place. For example, so we have all studied these things. It is just a summary. At is used to show a precise time. In is used for months, years, centuries, and long periods. On is used for days and dates. At is used just for a point in a place. And in is used for enclosed space. On is used for surface. So though we studied that they have their special uses and some standard expressions. Great. Thanks for watching. So at the end of every and each video we have what? A proverb. So our today's proverb is, a bird in hand is worth two in the bush. So the meaning is, things we already have are more valuable than what we hope to get. So this is the proverb that today we have studied. Okay, if you would like this lesson, so you can go to our Facebook page, so you can have the summary of each lessons and new words and other things, and our YouTube channel, so you can subscribe and just press the bell to have the next videos. And we have a Telegram group, so there you can find our all materials. So thanks, have a good time, wish you all the best, goodbye.